Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm here with Daniel Cormier, my co-host from UFC Tonight, of course, fighting for the title at UFC 187 against Anthony Rumble Johnson. You know, DC, this one to me, you've talked about not being as emotional as you were with Jon Jones. How do you feel like that's benefiting you in this situation?
Well, it's allowing me to do what I believe I'm here for. Like, I like to compete, Karyn. Like, I've been competing my entire life, and when I can compete with a clear mind and a clear conscience, I think I actually do better. You know, so having respect for Anthony inside of the cage and outside makes it easier, makes it better. It allows me to go into the gym and know that I'm competing for the right reasons, not for dislike or for hatred for a person.
And how palpable was it for you? I mean, were you literally standing there, they closed the cage, you're like, man, I just freaking hate this guy? Like, you
know, it was like, man, I cannot wait to punch this dude. All this time that we've been waiting, we get a chance to hit each other. And I'm sure he felt the same way. You know, it's not one way. You know, it was like, I cannot wait to actually get in there and fight this guy.
I do wonder, though, about your emotional state. I remember at the time you were saying, I believe the reason I didn't win, you know, in the Olympics was because I was meant to be the champion. And in your first attempt, it didn't go your way. So now is it a question of, okay, now I'm really meant for it because I'm given this second chance? Like, how are, you know what I mean? How are you coming to terms with this second opportunity and what it means to you and your legacy?
Well, I mean, you know, I was talking to my coach yesterday, John Smith. Greatest American wrestler of all time. And I said, I got to win this one, Coach. He said, you don't have to do anything. You want to. You want to win this fight for yourself and for your family and for all that you've done. Don't put any unwanted pressure on yourself. And that's what I've come to terms with. If it works out, which I intend it will. But if it doesn't, you know, it would suck. But I've done a lot of good things over the course of my athletics career, and I would still continue to press and try to become the champion. You learn at every step, and that's exactly what I'm still doing.
You know, it's so funny. I'm on a tennis team now, and my partner and I actually lost ours the other day. But it's so funny because I swear I have you and others like you to thank, because I've come to terms with losing something. Like, I really think I can handle it better. Is that you've had personal loss, you've had, you know, career loss? Is that something that you just really feel like you handle better than other people?
Well, I mean, I don't handle it very well. You know, it tears me apart, but eventually you got to get up and start rebuilding yourself. You know, that's my thing, man. I'm like, you know what? I have to continue to chase this dream, try to accomplish this goal that most people think is impossible. So there are going to be ups and there are going to be downs. You know, how do you handle your downs? How do you build back up after you lose? And I know it's tough. It's never going to be easy to lose something that you work really hard for. But I'm getting better at trying to just be better, trying to be a better me, and you know, losing sucks. Yeah, but totally. you gotta rebuild, continue to press forward.
Well, talking about rebuilding is Anthony Rumble Johnson. You know, you even mentioned here during our lunch that you have great respect for the fact that he's put together this incredible win streak, and when the guy was at a very low point, he was able to come back from that. So on the one hand, you respect him for that, but at the same time, you've then said, but look at the guy that got choked out by Vitor. He doesn't have heart. So which one is it?
Well, it's not that he doesn't have heart. I'm just saying that inside of Anthony, there is something that when stuff has gotten tough, and guys have put him in situations where you could either go left to exit or you can go right and stay in the fight. He's chosen to go left. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say guy doesn't have heart. He obviously has heart. He fights. But I just said that some guys never take that out. You know, they will go out on their shield, and in some instances he hasn't. That's only the truth. You know, I've kind of gotten some flack for that, but in reality, I'm only telling the truth. That really happened. And just as much as it pains us, Lyoto Machida tapped to Luke Rockhold. He could have fought that choke a little bit better. Chael Sonnen tapped when Rashad was on top of him and when Jon was on top of him. That happened. These aren't lies. These are the truth, and I'm just stating them.
So you also mentioned something during lunch that you didn't let your coaches, you said, don't let me quit when you're in there sparring with Cain. So how hard did you go with the champ?
It was tough. You know, a lot of times, man, it got real tough because the guy's so good. He's a lot bigger now because of the weight loss, and his pace is ridiculous, you know. So there were times that I just wanted to just not go with him. And I can openly admit that. It sucked. Every second of every round sucked. But I believe I got better for it. And then when I finally got to go with someone different, I actually saw it.
Nice. And you do make him come in and cut weight with you?
He doesn't cut weight because the guy hates a sauna. He's never been in one in his entire life. He's like, oh my God, my head's hot. But he does try. You know, it just goes to show you, man, I've got great teammates and great friends, and they lay it on the line for me.
And you did also mention something about the long camp that you had for Jon Jones. You think it was too much? You said it was 16 weeks. Then you were preparing for an 8-week camp for Ryan Bader. How is the, you know, you basically were in almost an 8-week. It got abbreviated now to 6 or so. So how has this affected you?
You know what? I think it's great. You know, it gave me the time to where you feel like your body's peaking and you're done. Because before I felt like my body was peaking mid-December, but I still had 2-3 weeks of camp, you know. So, yeah, it did a little too much. And you know what? It was because I did it myself. I didn't really hand it over to my coaches as I normally do. It was so much on the line that I wanted to do more. And now I've just kind of turned it over to my coaches. And they're going to prepare me the best I can be.
Nice. Well, you know, everybody at work would love to see you walking in with that belt, DC. So best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. And I would love to bring the belt back to UFC tonight. What's up, guys? This is Daniel Cormier, and you're watching MMA Heat.